Up to 14 people have been injured in a stabbing attack on a bus in Germany. The suspect was on board when he pulled out a knife and began slashing passengers. Police say a smouldering backpack was found on the bus, but wasn't a bomb. They say the attack is not believed to be linked to terror. It's not normally bushfire territory, but Sweden is fighting its most serious fires in decades, including some above the Arctic Circle. The normally freezing temperatures have soared to more than 32 degrees this week, making the forests highly flammable. It looks like something went very wrong for a truck driver in Florida, with his cab left hanging perilously over the side of a bridge. The road had to be shut as crews tried to lift it back from the edge. Incredibly, the driver managed to get out safely, but why he ended up there in the first place is still not known. The long-forgotten story of a courageous Australian naval officer has been discovered a long way from home, in the filing cabinets of a Catholic convent in Los Angeles. Jack Reed was a coast watcher on Bougainville Island in 1942 and helped save a group of American missionaries.
I want to show you where the diaries are.
Sister Eileen McNerney is about to show us some rarely seen diaries involving part of Australia's World War II history and filed away at the Sisters of St. Joseph Convent near Los Angeles.
Here, this were the original diaries that the sisters kept there all during the war.
They tell the story of a lone Australian naval officer, Lieutenant Jack Reed, and how he saved the lives of 4 nuns working as missionaries in Bougainville.
They went over there as zealous young nuns, and within 1 year, their island was taken over by the Japanese, and they were on the run. So, and all the way along, they keep telling that story, writing every day what happened.
Reed's bravery as a coast watcher didn't go unnoticed by the Americans, and after the war, the US Navy recreated the rescue on film, with an American actor playing the Tasmanian.
The United States Navy will pick you up at Yelp Harbor, and we have to leave right away.
Thank God. Did you hear? We're leaving.
Lieutenant Reed started out ahead of us with a lantern. We followed through tall grass, little streams and boggy mud holes.
And on New Year's Day, 1943, waiting to collect them was a submarine, the USS Nautilus.
Captain, those women are nuns.
Lieutenant Reed went out in a canoe to the submarine ahead of us to reassure them our rescue was not a Japanese plot.
Daniel McHugh is now planning a documentary about Reed's rescue mission.
Now, I think much like our Vietnam veterans, people are recognizing just how critical their services were. Indeed, Lieutenant Reed was awarded the American Distinguished Service Cross.
Sister Eileen's written a book about the nuns' experience, which includes a salute to the Australian Navy's Lieutenant Reed.
I think that he was the one who first came to them and explained to them the precariousness of the situation.
Because the Japanese were on their way and they weren't taking prisoners.
Reed knew that. The sisters did not grasp that.
The nuns used their own patron saint to keep those diaries safe.
Eventually, Sister Hedda, who was the journalist, would hide that journal behind the St. Joseph statue in the church.
Without Reed explaining the seriousness of the situation, those nuns may not have survived.
He was the lookout. He was the ultimate decider. And so they ultimately gathered where Reed was. Because I think what Reed saw was that when the Japanese took over those islands, there was going to be a slaughter. And nobody was going to be safe.
Lieutenant Reed, we can't thank you enough.
He did so many remarkable things, including rescuing the woman at great risk to himself. I think that that kind of courage needs to be recognized because it's silent courage. And when the nuns left, slipped back into the jungle and continued on.
In Orange, California, Robert Penfold, NBN News.
It took meticulous planning to get 12 boys and their soccer coach out of a cave in Thailand. Now the Thai Navy SEALs have released some pictures of their practice run. The team, along with specialists from across the globe, tested out their equipment on local schoolboys at a nearby pool. They ran through the moves they'd used to retrieve the soccer team before carrying out their rescue. Most of us will never get to see a platypus in the wild, but it's nice to know they're out there. And there's one more tonight. A little fellow nicknamed George is swimming free after being nursed back to health by the good people at Taronga Zoo.
George by name and very curious by nature. It's hard to believe that just 6 months ago, this playful platypus was dangerously underweight and given a slim chance at survival.
He was only 420 grams. We estimated him to be about 5 or 6 months old, and he probably should have been like double that weight.
The emaciated puggle was brought in to Taronga Zoo, where he began an intensive feeding and rehabilitation program.
He started to eat, and he just picked up speed and improved daily. Now he's in really great condition. He's 1.3 kilograms, and he's ready to go back out to the wild.
A quick check over by vets, a pose for the camera, and the little superstar is released into the Colo River north of Sydney. A few tentative paddles, and there's no looking back.
He's got a good grade because, like I said, he's got really natural behaviours, and people in the area will be also watching out for him.
George the platypus has a fighting chance thanks to a quick-thinking member of the public who notified Taronga Zoo when they found the emaciated animal. Experts say far too often people try to keep injured native animals as pets for a few days with tragic consequences.
If they don't immediately get the attention they need, could die. It's a real success story because somebody did the right thing.
On the edge of Sydney's rolling hills district, along with the horses, houses are now popping up in the middle of paddocks. In the next few years, prime farmland will be transformed into 10,000 family-friendly homes, and they're likely to fetch big figures.
Might not look like much now, but welcome to Sydney's newest $1 million postcode. Box Hill, on the fringe of the city's northwest, is booming.
The northwest sector is bucking the trend. The demand is quite good. It suits a lot of people, families, investors, older couples.
The suburb's transformation is being driven by projects like The Gables, a $4 billion master plan where 4,000 homes will be finished by 2025.
To date, we've sold about 750 lots, and we've still got a fair way to go.
In the last 2 months, 2 houses on this busy street have resold for 6 figures.
It doesn't come as a surprise to us because we are investing such amount of capital into this development.
Those proposed perks include sports fields, a town centre and a local primary school. A short distance down the road, just under 3,000 new lots have been made available, prices starting at $400,000.
Well, we basically moved out here because Sydney is a bit unaffordable, better priced out here, the infrastructure's a lot better out here, it's all new and it's an up and coming area.
In the houses that we used to live in before, they were smaller, and we have much more freedom, and there's more people to play with.
Just 2 years ago, in this part of Box Hill, everything looked like this, rural farmland. Now, it's starting to look a little more like this, a hive of activity where developers are building thousands of homes for Sydney families. And the infrastructure's not far behind. In 6 months, the Northwest Rail will open, providing a link from the hills to the CBD.
It will be great. I mean, I probably still work for a couple of years, and they told me it's only going to be a 15-minute trip into Chatswood.
But for now, some are enjoying the last moments of tranquility before everyone else moves in.
A few more neighbours, a few more children, a bit of noise, that'll be great.
The Australian dream, as they say.
Many kids dream of going to space, and now thanks to a very cute astronaut, they can see what it's like. Anstey, the toy echidna, returned to Earth after her second visit in space, bringing with her extraordinary footage of the journey. An amateur space group in South Australia launched the echidna toy attached to a balloon, which eventually exploded, sending her back to Earth. Anstey is preparing for her 3rd space mission next year. And that is one very busy echidna.
Yeah, she kept a straight face.
She certainly did. Over the floor now with Sam Djodan. And Sam, another win for the Knights.
Yeah, that's right, Tyson, but it was anything but easy. Coming up after the break, Newcastle sneaks past the Gold Coast on home soil. And Ricky Stewart on the attack against the NRL and its referees.
When scent is carried through mist, it stays with us.
New Airwick Essential Mist transforms fragrance infused with essential oils into mist to surround us with the fragrance we love. New Airwick Essential Mist.
It's bonus time right now at Better. Take home this LG 55-inch UHD LED LCD Smart TV for just $14.96 and receive a bonus $75 Visa gift card. Hurry, limited time only. Go local. That's better.
Dottie's in control of her spending with the new ANZ app, so she knows exactly when to shop and when she should probably stop. It's easy to get on top of your money with the new ANZ app.
Every day ahead, maybe you've got a big crowd to feed. Order! Or if you case to win. Objection! Maybe you've got a big game to play. Or a big problem to solve. Whatever kind of big day you've got, there's one great way to start. To support your mental sharpness and physical energy, start your big day with Barocca.
I'm one of the engineers responsible for how the Holden Commodore is handled for generations. And I can tell you this latest one drives like a Holden should. We're so confident we're giving it a 5-year unlimited kilometre warranty as standard. We tested it around these, through that, to handle this, even this. It's passed our test drive, and now I challenge you to take yours. Take a new Holden for a test drive, and if you find a car you like better and buy it, we'll give you $500. Take the Holden Test Drive Challenge today.
Can I get the vegan breakfast with bacon?
The veggie burger, medium rare. Can we split that 11 ways?
Can I have my eggs in bursts, so yolk on the outside?
Can you tell the chef? To us as chef.
Could I have sweet, short plus, almond milk, yak milk? Done.
From orders through to payments, with ANZ Play Pay and the right app, you'll get on top of your business.
Can you remove the sour from the salad?
Sweetie?
Hey, Mum.
Mars, enough chocolate to deal with anything.
Oh, it's very good.